welcome to 10 Talks. It's a new season, and we are so excited to be on the journey with Rye as she starts her new season. We've been talking about transitioning to next, and part of transition is even figuring out what is our next and really having that patience, perseverance, commitment to what matters to you. So team, we're going to pass on the same to you. This is all about champion commitments and being very, very intentional about what we want, why we want it, and what we're willing to do to make it happen. And we get to go on this journey to really hear as Rye is making her choices. We want to coach you up. We want you to be able to be intentional about choosing your week and how you want to win your week and how you want to win your life and what really matters to you. And Rye is our sports life coach. She got certified in 2022. And so now she's starting to add that as her side hustle, if we want to use the latest language and how we're doing this. And so she, during her somewhat off season of playing professional volleyball, she got certified with us, went through her certification. It's a big deal. It takes a lot. She did it. She got into the business of being a sports life coach. Yes, lots of victory dances for that. So team, you get to see as you go on this journey with us, what it's like to have a season that you're involved in. And then you start to get the feeling of maybe I want a little something different. And when you get that curiosity that shows up, honor it. And be curious and go into what do I want? And so that's where Rye found us as sports life coaching. She went through our certification, all the while still engaging in being a professional volleyball player. So now it's time for her to transition into her professional volleyball season. The great news is the investment of being a sports life coach and investing in her off season now just gets added to her season. So here we go. It's all about winning in our lives, being intentional, and Rye, new season. So tell us about where you are and what's happening in your new season.
Well, team, something big just happened. I got a contract to go to play for my dream league, the best league in the world in Italy. And I got this a few days ago. We were talking about it for a few weeks, and this has been a dream of mine since I started playing professional volleyball, and it's been an amazing journey. And sometimes when you don't even believe in yourself that you are gonna do it, and Carlette, I even quit on my dream at some point in my life, and it just happened at the perfect time and the perfect moment. So very excited about it.
Yeah, so you are leaving for Italy. So from Puerto Rico to Italy, and
Yes.
you had no idea. So let's just talk about the power of really honoring who you are, what's important, and being intentional. So take us on where we were even a couple weeks ago when you didn't have any idea what was next.
Yeah, let's say 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. I still
15
had
minutes
no
ago.
idea. Basically 15 minutes ago. I had no idea on what I was gonna do for volleyball season. My league in Puerto Rico was supposed to start in February, and everything was on the clouds with that. I had no idea on what was going to happen with it. And I knew the portal for transfer will open now in December. So I was like, well, let's see. Let's just stay patient. I'm not going to make any commitment or anything. Let's see if what I want for a very, very, very long time comes. And I received a call on the 23rd of December. And as soon as I received that call, I was like, what is happening? This is crazy. Going from off season, my brain completely turned on. I was like, okay, I need to get ready for season because I might leave next week and I start playing in 2 weeks. So it was like a complete turnaround in every aspect, Carlette. Mentally, I was in my off season. I was training, but I was still like in the clouds with what is going to happen with my volleyball career. As soon as I got that call, my brain went up like, let's do this. We have to get set up for success to be ready and be intentional in what I need to do in Italy.
So lots of uncertainty around transition. I think that is really one of the most difficult and also the most unsettling, because from a safety, psychological safety perspective, we like plans. We like to make plans. We like to know what's going to happen. And really, the gift of COVID has taught us we can't really make plans. We can have desired outcomes, and we can have intention with what we are and what's in alignment with really who we are and what matters to us. And then we use our coaching tools. The one, it's all about stats, really understanding what's a 10 for us. Our stat system is on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is low, 10 is fabulous. And every choice that you make, both emotionally, physically, personally, professionally, philanthropically, with our money, with our time, with our energy, we are asking ourselves, what is my stat on that? And so when you were getting ready to choose to play in Puerto Rico, you wrote down your definition of success, which is another one of our tools, and you had that as a compass. And then as you
Mhm.
negotiated and teamed up with the Puerto Rico team, they too get to have their definition of success. And we know that we have a 10 when both definitions of success align. It's never about one losing and one winning. It's always about that intention of, here's my desired outcome, here's my definition of success, and here's what a 10 would be for me. And so being that transparent and being able to share that with your boss in your personal life, with your partner, with your family, with whoever's on your journey with you, it really sets everybody up to be able to speak their truth and to make sure that we are all in alignment with our definitions and what's a 10. So you were going through that journey, and it's really unsettling, or there's a lot of emotional management that happens when we're working through the messiness of aligning the 10s.
Yes, emotionally it was a roller coaster. Like dealing with the transition as well. There was a lot of transition in that moment. Retirement from national team, transitioning into a new job or a new season in my life with sports life coaching and the company. Transitioning into personally training for myself versus training for a team. Like um transitioning into what's going to be my next. Am I staying here at home, which it was a 10 for me to stay at home. But also knowing, what if my dream job comes to life, like what if my dream job shows up? Like it was a roller coaster. Definitely a roller coaster emotionally, uh personally, and professionally, thinking about what was going to be my next. It was still, I'm proud that I was patient during the transition, but at the same time I had it in the back of my mind, what if this doesn't work out? What am I going to focus on? What am I going to do? So that question of anchoring in what is a 10 for me is what really kept me going this past 3 months that I've been off season of volleyball, and to stay emotionally stable in a
Mm.
way that I could continue, and having that motivation to continue for myself.
So, Rye, I want to move into the tool of competitive greatness, because as we talk about transition and the messiness and the uncertainty and wanting everything to be our dream job and to be a 10, let's talk about being competitively great for you. And it starts with the first component of the competitively great tool is truth. And so share your truth with us about really just how hard this was and what you had to do to make sure that you kept winning for you.
Um, oh, honor myself in the process, Carlette. I think one of my truths was, what was a 10 for me? That I've been using that ever since I learned it from you in our certification and in my trainings with you. What is a 10? That is something that I've been anchoring everything that I'm doing into that question. And a hard truth is, like, playing in Puerto Rico is a 10 for me, but playing for my club team wasn't a 10, just because the way things were handled from both sides.
Mhm.
And
So
it,
that handling was just out of alignment because there's no right
yes,
or wrong, right? We're for
yes,
everyone. And so the beautiful part, and team, I just want to call a little bit of a timeout here as the coach to coach us up, is that it's never against anyone from that perspective. And the Puerto Rico team was really taking care of what they needed for a 10. And this is the beauty of our tools, is that both people or both companies get to be a 10. And it's all about that truth of, well, here's what I need and here's what I need. And if they're not in alignment, then we bless each other and we learn from each other and we're for each other, really setting each other free to go do what is a 10. So that's the gift of truth and really the maturity of being for each other on this journey.
yes, for sure. And I think that was something that was really important, and especially when I told them what was my decision into, okay, I got the contract of my dreams, and as much as I would love to play for you guys and stay home, like I feel like this is what is a 10 for me, and this is what I've been waiting for a very, very, very long time. And I think I just needed to jump into the opportunity and see how it goes.
Yeah. So that leads us to our next component of competitive greatness, which is faith. And so we can all define faith differently, whether you want it to be spiritual or religious. It also means faith in the process and faith in yourself. Faith is unseen. So we don't know. It's easy to have faith when everything is perfectly laid out or we know exactly what it is. That's not the definition of faith that we refer to. Faith in the process is trusting something that you can't see and really trusting a person. If you go with a coach, you're going to trust and have faith in them. So, what did you learn about faith on your journey?
Trust the process. um everything every time everything was going downhill, I will just breathe and trust the process. It's interesting, Carlette, I let go 3 contracts, not only the Puerto Rican team, but 2 other contracts overseas, that I just let them pass because either they wasn't a 10 at that moment for me. And now when I receive the one that I wanted for a very, very, very long time, I was like, you see, that's why you trust your process. So into that moment, trust the process. And my whole transition, trust the process, was very important. Being a rookie, learning, taking care of myself, developing my own schedule, getting lost in the midst of things that I needed to do. So trust the process was part of my faith.
Mhm. And faith in your failures, because really, when you think about not getting the contract that you wanted in Puerto Rico, passing on some other contracts, there could be fear there that what's going to happen. And so that's why the faith is so important. So, how did you anchor in faith when fear was showing up constantly and that confusion of maybe it's not going to work out?
You know what, Carlette? I think sports life coach and our certification just gave me a base of clarity and peacefulness in my process. And I was like, if volleyball doesn't work for a reason, I'm going to trust my process, that I have sports life coaching in my life and I did it for a reason. Then if volleyball doesn't work, it's time for me to invest fully my 100% into what I want my next to be. So I'm grateful that I did that certification, because first is what I want to do next. It's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And it's what I will love to continue doing and bring it into my career and use it with my teammates and other teams, but as well as helping young players. That's what I really, really want to do. And I think that gave me peace.
Mhm.
Like knowing, okay, maybe volleyball is not working, but sports life coaching certification will work and I will help young players in their careers, which is something that I miss in mine. So that gave me peace in my process.
Well, and our certification is really designed exactly for that. I mean, I started it 23 years ago because I wish I would have had it when I was an athlete. And I really wish someone would have been coaching me up as intentionally in my life as they were in my sport. And everything was about if I was winning, I was a winner. If I wasn't winning, I was a loser. And that was so hard on my heart. And so we really started our sports life coaching certification to train to be as intentional in your life as we train to be champions in sport. And our model and our brand is all about retired athletes, retired coaches, retired executives coming in and using this as their next, because who better to coach a current athlete or a current executive or a current coach than somebody who's been through it. So that's what's so unique about our brand. And Rai, thank you for having the faith that during your off season to invest in really a new career so that you're actually able to bring in that career slowly, just training and bringing it in. Our model is a live it to give it model. So we're constantly doing the coaching in our own lives personally, professionally, we're coaching up others, and philanthropically, we're giving hope. So you have been coached up constantly. It's an honor to be your sports life coach as you go through this journey, and then you being a sports life coach for other athletes. So that's the faith component. As we talk about competitive greatness, we start with truth, we move into faith, and we anchor in love. So let's talk about love of volleyball, love of going for your biggest dream, and love of Jesse, your husband. We have so many components of love.
Yes, for sure. And I think you asked me a question in one of our trainings. And it was like, it's retirement from volleyball. And I was like, no, I love it. Volleyball is the 10 for me. It's my passion. Like, I'm not ready to retire from volleyball. So this was all in our process of transition when we were having those conversations. But yes, I think also the love for the game kept me anchored in the trust in my process. I knew deep inside of me that you always learn something from every experience, and God keeps teaching me how we need to trust him. And so the love for the game is something that it just keeps me going. The love for my husband, which he's been so, no, I have no words for him. Like, he is been living this journey with me. And when that contract came, he cried with me. He's going to training with me. He is finding everything I need to set me up for success and moving into our next journey right now, which is going to be long distance relationship, but we've done this before. Like, we know what to expect. But our mentality into knowing that we can share our dreams, that my dream is also his dream, it's been a pretty amazing process. And who knows, like, we might get separated in 1 day or 2 days, but we're both anchored in what we want as well as a couple, and how we want to live this experience together. And I just can't wait to have them. I'm not in Italy yet, but my mom is in Italy, and I'm already visualizing ourselves having our dates in Italy.
Yes, lots of great pasta and wine and all that good stuff. Let's talk about the truth, the faith, and the love of we've been talking professionally in terms of you getting the job of your life, the contract of your dreams, and being able to really go and play professional volleyball in Italy. And that's professional. And then we really see how that professional decision affects our personal life and how we have to be on this journey together. And you and Jesse have just been such a beautiful gift to really model that merger. So take us a bit through your love life journey about, you're married, how long you've been married, you're both professional volleyball players, and just watch your film from kind of pre-sports life coaching, the way that you lived, and now the journey that you've been on, so that it really shows that togetherness.
Yes. We've been married for 3 years. Our anniversary was in December 29th. So we've been married for 3 years, and we've known each other since 2017. And we met through volleyball. So it was interesting because we were having a conversation the other day, and he reminded me, and he was like, I always knew you could do it. And this is something you told me when we first started dating. Like, you were very intentional in your dream, and you mentioned what you really wanted to do. And it was up to me to either be here and support you, or just walk away, because it's difficult. And it's difficult to leave away from your husband. It's difficult to have, you know, set different contracts and being traveling all year long. And we went through that as well for like almost 3 years. So going back to me living in one country and him living in another country, um we've been very intentional into spending our days as a 10. And that's all we've been asking ourselves lately. What is a 10 for you today? What do you want to do? He's been training me. He's been going into the gym with me. Whenever I feel like giving up, he's like, no, you got this. Let's go. It's Italy. We gotta step up our game. Like, he's been there pushing me to be the best version I can be. And personally, having a person that can support you with his eyes closed and can live your journey with you is such a blessing. And I'm so blessed that we get to spend this life together, and our journeys together, and our plans and our dreams. And he's like, I'm not the one going, but I feel like I'm the one playing in Italy right now. Like, he is leaving it with me. So it's such a blessing, Carlette.
Team, that is love. It cannot get any better than that. And just being able to hear that you get to have the love of your career and the love of your life personally and philanthropically, as we bring in our 3 dimensions, as we talk about all this, just you giving so much hope to others as they really think about, can I or do I have what it takes to go for what I want? Like, how do I win in my life? And Rye, the gift that you're giving us is just the honest conversation about that this isn't easy. A 10 doesn't mean easy. A 10 doesn't mean it all goes your way. A 10 doesn't mean there's great ease and there's not confusion and heartache and sadness. And, you and Jesse are going to be separated for 4 months. You're going to be living in Italy. He's going to be living in Puerto Rico. That's going to have to be all about intentionally, really, how do we show love and be love and experience love? And you're set up for it. So thank you so much for just this gift of being able to give us hope as we go on the journey with you and getting to see how you are winning by being very intentional and choosing your 10s.
And thank you, Carlette, for being part of my journey. I'm excited to just share my story and our journey so we can give hope to other players. And I say this everywhere I go. I wish I found this 10 years ago because this is what I was missing in my life. I needed this, like my heart needed this. So I'm just glad we're giving hope to other players, and hopefully they can jump into this experience as well so they can win their life.
So, right, let's close with words of wisdom. What do you wish you would have known? And what have you learned now that we can give our team and they can be set up to win their life?
Just the intention to live the 3D life, and not only personally and professionally, but philanthropically, and how we can give hope every day to if anyone that you see um, in the streets or the supermarket or whatever. So just the intention of living a 3D life and the intention of living what's a 10 for you. Those are my words of wisdom, and that is what I've been living like intentionally for the past 3 months since I learned it and I put it into practice. And when you anchor into what is the 10 for you, you there's no room for low stats. there's no room for low stats. And if it's a cardio, which for example, going to Italy is a 10 for me, but being away from my husband is going to be a cardio, but eventually it's a 10 for both of us that we're both living this dream, then we can live up to those cardios because it could get us to a 10. But low stats are out.
There is no room in a 10 life with low stats because
Yes.
life is too precious. Our time, our energy, our emotions, our relationships, our currency, how we're investing, it's so precious. And that's why we want to be so intentional about choosing tens and really defining what winning is and going for it. So, Rai, we are on your support team, cheering you on. Team, we are going on the journey with Rai for her big dream and her trip and just, her 10 life. It's your turn. Let's start creating this week. How do you want to be intentional? Choose your tens. You've got to practice those champion commitments. You must be committed to doing the work and know that we are for you. Thank you, Rai.